right now on 5 on your side at 10.
We start with breaking news. St. Louis police on the scene of a deadly shooting at a downtown McDonald's. I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the net off. This call came out about 45 minutes ago near Tucker and Cole. That's not far from the Dome. Our Robert Townsend is live there with what he's learning. Robert.
Hey there, Mike. You know, on this bitterly cold winter night, there is a homicide investigation happening just feet away from me. Look back there and you can see right now there are more than a half dozen police officers and detectives and, in fact, a few firefighters here at this scene. Again, this is happening at the McDonald's near North Tucker and Carr, just blocks away from downtown St. Louis, as you indicated. Right now, we understand that just after 9 o'clock tonight, a man was shot and killed in the parking lot from what we're gathering here at the scene. Right now, police have cordoned off this area. Just on the side of this McDonald's is exactly near that drive-through you see back there. Again, this is all happening around 9:15 tonight. We do not know exactly what led to this shooting. We don't know if this person was a customer just walking by. You got to keep in mind this is just down the street from a homeless center. A lot of residential area happening in this area too. We don't know anything about the victim, but we do know right now on this bitterly cold night, lots of police officers are combing this parking lot. They put up that yellow crime scene tape around that area back there, just on the side of the door there, that entrance there you see. And right now we're still waiting for them to tell us exactly what happened, including what exactly happened, if they're still looking for a suspect or if they've made any arrests. We don't know any of those details, but as soon as we get those details, we will definitely put them on KSDK.com. For now, though, we're live just north of downtown. I'm Robert Townsend. Mike, back to you.
Robert, thanks. And right now, St. Louis police also investigating a deadly shooting in North City. Investigators blocked off a section of Union near MLK around 5:30 tonight. That's right outside Williams Temple Church. We're told a man has died. We're working to get you more information, but so far, no other details have been released. Turning now to our other big story of the night, bitter cold has its grip on the St. Louis region. We're in for the coldest night yet. Our next shot at snow has activated a weather impact alert day for Friday. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is also tracking temperatures dipping into the single digits overnight. Scott?
Yeah, for many of us, it will be the coldest night of the winter for sure. We're looking out into St. Charles right now. Traffic at least is doing a little bit better on the roads as MoDOT and the road crews have made some progress. Alton down to 10 degrees. O'Fallon is 14. Cahokia is 14. It's also 14 degrees right now in Mascoutah, 12 degrees in Washington, Missouri. As the wind settles tonight, even though it's a little bit out of the southwest, if it stays calm for about an hour or two at any one location, that's when we will drop into the single digits. We were down to 17. Now we're back up to 19 as we see those winds pick up just a little bit. We've also been melting some of that snow, even though it hasn't been above freezing. We saw some melting today with that sunshine, temperatures in the upper 20s. That now refreezing if it hasn't been treated. You get that very thin layer of ice. So that black ice, hard to see. It does create some slippery roads. We'll have to watch that early tomorrow morning, especially on elevated surfaces and maybe on your driveway and sidewalk as well. As Mike mentioned, we do have our weather impact alert for late Thursday night going into Friday for up to 4 inches of snow. That heavier snow should stay south and southeast of St. Louis, but you will need some extra time. Probably that car safety kit as well, just to be safe if you're traveling, because there could be some slick conditions early on Friday. Already, winter storm warnings are in effect across most of Arkansas, southeast portions of Missouri. For our area, it's a winter weather advisory that begins tomorrow night. We'll see you in a few minutes, and we'll track that snow, Mike.
Big improvement on the roads tonight, more than 48 hours after that winter storm dumped several inches of snow and sleet on the region. Most major highways look to be clear, but be careful. As Scott mentioned, there are still some slick spots. Tonight, police in St. Louis County warning drivers to slow down. The county's transportation department says while it's finished most of their plowing and salting, people shouldn't expect totally clear roads right away. They're now going back over certain problem areas.
You're not going to be seeing 100% bare pavement everywhere in St. Louis County. That's just not realistic. We were out there. It was a methodical situation. We couldn't rush it. Slow but steady, as I say. So it was quite a storm.
The county also warning drivers the weather could lead to more potholes. More than 100 schools are either remaining closed or switching to virtual learning tomorrow. The full list is running at the bottom of your screen. You can also text the word closings to 314-425-5355 and we'll send it to your phone. Just hours ago, the Ferguson-Florissant School Board held its first meeting days after placing its superintendent on leave. Dr. Joseph Davis was placed on leave after two former principals sued the district, accusing Davis of sexual harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. Board members declined to comment on the lawsuit in today's 5-minute public session. However, they did formally introduce the co-acting superintendents, Dr. Jocelyn Pugh Walker and Brent Mitchell. We're learning more tonight about a request from the St. Louis County Council to bring in the state auditor to investigate the county prosecutor's office. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is taking a closer look at the reasons behind this request. Laura?
Mike, St. Louis County Councilman Mark Harder says they want this investigation because concerns about the prosecutor's office have been brought to them over the years, and with a new person stepping in, it's just time. Melissa Price Smith was sworn in as St. Louis County prosecutor on Friday.
Congratulations.
And even before she officially had the job, she had goals and priorities in mind, one of them being to request an audit of the office. And the St. Louis County Council is on the same page.
It will help me to understand what's going on in the office in terms of finances, personnel, compliance with sunshine requests, which will also help me to be transparent with this council as well as the public.
The council voted unanimously to begin that process at their first meeting of the year.
When you change leadership, it's always a good practice that you do have some type of audit done so that the new leader in that department or entity knows what the issues are and can correct them.
Councilman Mark Harder says they want the auditor to investigate the last 6 years and look into these 4 main issues. If the prosecutor's office complied with Missouri Sunshine Law and open records requests, spending and expenditures of the office, including credit card purchases, travel and related expenditures, and employee timesheets and PTO use. He says the first phase is the investigation, which is paid for by the state. The second phase is the actual audit itself.
If they do an audit, then we have to pay for that. And so that's why we're taking this in a 2-step phase, so that if there is some issues and we think an audit would be beneficial, then we'll have to decide how we're going to pay for that and move forward.
The council is also looking into having the county auditor perform the audit so that it's not something they'd have to pay extra for. Price Smith says she's not opposed.
Whichever is best, as long as there's an audit. I'm in support of the resolution as it's written by Councilman Harder.
Harder says the next step is to send a certified copy of the resolution to the state auditor's office, which hasn't happened yet, but will soon.
Tonight, tens of thousands of people are fleeing their homes in Southern California as a massive and deadly wildfire emergency is unfolding from the Pacific Palisades to Pasadena. Several fires burning out of control, fueled by hurricane-force winds threatening Hollywood landmarks. At least 5 people have been killed. Tens of thousands of acres, as well as over 1,000 structures, have been destroyed. It's one of the most destructive fires in the modern history of the city.
I am making sure that we leave no resource untapped. Firefighters are now on scene from across the state and across the country.
Adding fuel to the fires, a stress on the city's water system, which has some fire hydrants running dry. A St. Louis man is in Southern California right now for work. He had to flee L.A. to get to safety. This is a Clayton-based company is working with the federal government to get those flames under control. New at 10, Brent Solomon has a closer look at the efforts now underway.
All right, Mike, Perimeter Solutions is based in Clayton. That company contracts with the government to stop the spread of big fires like the one we're seeing here. But first, we're going to hear from a local man who traveled out west, never expecting he'd be in harm's way.
It's the unbelievable video the whole world is seeing as growing wildfires rip through California.
It's just flames and flames everywhere.
Corbin Cunningham of St. Louis is a content creator. He went to LA for projects he's working on right now for social media.
We came out the house and it was like super windy. And we just thought it was like a normal windy day.
Until he received notifications about the Palisades fire and then saw it for himself.
Actually seeing a whole entire mountain and thousands of acres filled with just fires and seeing people's house is in danger from being in a fire zone. It's terrifying.
He traveled to San Diego to get out of the line of fire.
Unfortunately, we're seeing, whole communities that are being destroyed right now.
Shannon Horn is Chief Operating Officer for Perimeter Solutions, a Clayton-based company contracted by the U.S. Forest Service. The company manufactures fire chemicals and retardants to help stop the spread.
They put it out ahead of the fire.
It's placed from up above, allowing for coverage of areas hard to reach by ground. But the growing fire is making even aerial operations difficult.
You've got two big fires with the Palisade and Eaton fire, and now there's a couple more fires that have started. So that's really spreading the resources thin, and aircraft as well.
They're committed to the work.
We were able to do a number of gallons, up to maybe about 60,000 gallons yesterday, and I think we'll do well over 100,000 gallons spread across, a couple of the fires today.
For me, since I've actually never dealt with a fire before, coming from St. Louis, it's very scary.
Horn says extreme winds are making it very challenging to fly, but they continue to monitor the changing conditions so they can get more product down. We also caught up with a doctor in LA who is from St. Louis who confirms just how windy it is right now and how the smoke is now racing toward the Pacific Ocean.
Brent, thanks. Developing tonight, an arson investigation in Puerto Rico has expanded to the St. Louis area. Federal officials searched a woman's home in St. Peters who they believe is connected to a fire that burned down 3 businesses on the island. A witness captured this video of the woman arguing with employees at one of the businesses. A local newspaper reported security cameras allegedly caught her setting the fire. The crime is now catching the attention of leaders here in St. Louis.
It definitely hurt seeing that. What the person displayed was obviously not just criminal, but a flagrant sense of entitlement and disrespect for the culture and the people of the island. I didn't want to let it go, and I wasn't going to let it go.
The St. Peters woman is yet to be charged, so we are not yet naming her.
A near catastrophic collision caught on camera. The mistake that had one driver just inches away from tragedy. Frozen pipe prevention during frigid weather. Tonight we verify if a drip can prevent you from dropping a lot of money on a costly repair.
This next system isn't anything like Sunday's, but it's still enough to cause travel impacts locally, especially Friday morning, where the snow really piles up and why that could impact travel to a few tourist spots.
Tonight, mourners continue to pass by the flag-draped casket of the late President Jimmy Carter. The U.S. Capitol Rotunda will remain open overnight as the former president lies in state. A state funeral will be held tomorrow. President Biden has declared it a national day of mourning. We have live coverage of President Carter's funeral tomorrow morning on 5 on Your Side and on the 5+ streaming app. Shocking video tonight of a train slamming into a car in South Florida. The driver of that car drove through the gates of a train crossing while that crossing arm was down and the emergency lights were flashing. The train hit the rear passenger side of the car. The driver was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Tonight, police are warning drivers about warming up their cars unattended. They say this practice makes you a prime target for thieves. In the past 24 hours, 2 cars left running were stolen in the city of St. Louis.
It's cold out. We get it. We want to stay comfortable. We want to stay warm, but we also have to be smart because thieves are smart too.
Police also warn, do not leave your key fob in your car. Our frigid temperatures means the risk of frozen pipes. And tonight, our Verify team looks into claims that you should leave your faucet dripping to keep the water flowing. Here's Brandon Lewis.
A running faucet is usually a wasteful sign, but with freezing and sometimes sub-zero temperatures expected for parts of the country this winter, some people say a dripping faucet may actually be a good thing to prevent pipes from freezing. So let's verify.
Can letting your faucets drip prevent pipes from bursting in cold weather?
Our sources are the American Red Cross, Mississippi State University, the Building Research Council at the University of Illinois, and Austin Water. When water freezes, it expands, so stagnant water in a pipe during freezing temperatures, typically when it's 20 degrees or colder, could cause enough pressure to make the pipe burst. Our sources say you can prevent this from happening by keeping the water flowing, even if it's just a drip, because moving water is harder to freeze. It doesn't even need to be a lot of water. Just a slow trickle is enough to do the trick. Our sources recommend opening the faucet that's furthest from your meter because this will help keep the water flowing throughout your home.
So, yes, letting your faucets drip can prevent pipes from bursting in cold weather.
You can also add insulation to your pipes or turn off your water and then drain your system so there's no water left in the pipes that could freeze. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is back with that weather impact forecast. We know it's cold, and we know we're getting some more snow, right, Scott?
Both of those things are absolutely true, Mike, unfortunately in this case, because look at the temperatures. Right now at Smartfield, it's down to 7 degrees. Litchfield's at 3, it's 7 over in Effingham, Mount Vernon's 7. But you're saying that, wait a minute, Warrenton's at 12, so is DeSoto. It's 14 at Scott Air Force Base and 15 in Farmington. Why the big difference across the area? It's all about the subtle breeze. The wind's out of the southwest. It's very light, but if you get a little bit of that breeze, it tends to keep temperatures up. When you don't have it, and these temperatures are varying, every 5 minutes. You can drop 3 or 4 degrees in 5 minutes, believe it or not, when that wind goes calm. So 0 to 10 is where our overall low temperatures will be. We probably, for most of us, don't stay there for an extended period of time, but that does bring back concerns about refreeze on the roads for tomorrow morning. You'll need some extra time. We still have slick spots out there, and additional slick spots will develop as we get the refreezing tonight. Also, if you're traveling here as we head towards Friday, expect some flight delays starting later tomorrow and on into Friday, because this storm system that we're going to be dealing with not only impacts us, but Southwest and American in Dallas. They have some problems on the way, too. We're 19 right now. Our dew point's 10. This morning, early on, we were down to 14. Then temperatures went back up a little bit. So tonight, we forecast temperatures in the single digits. Not everybody will get there. But if the wind settles at your location, even for an hour or two, with a clear sky and snow on the ground, that allows those temperatures to drop off. And any breeze brings them back up. They jump by 5 to 7 degrees. Tomorrow, we're close to freezing for the afternoon high. Some more melting with that sunshine. From 6 o'clock, though, tomorrow night until about 6 o'clock Friday, and we may tighten that up a little bit, we do have our weather impact alert for some snow. Locally up to 4 inches across southeast Missouri, southern portions of Illinois. This is a much farther southern track on this system. Already, though, seeing the snow breaking out across parts of Texas, the cold air has made its way all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So you watch as this happens through tomorrow and tomorrow night into Friday. Remember how we had all that dark blue over us on the Futurecast Sunday? That is pretty much down to our south and southeast for this go-round. So while we do see snow in St. Louis, it's not going to be that prolonged heavy snow like we were seeing across the area Sunday night. It rolls in by daybreak on Friday. So yes, there'll be a fresh coating on the ground. Road crews should be able to handle this, but then again, and then you look off to the south and east of St. Louis, this presses away. The heaviest snow will definitely be down to the south and southeast of us. If you're trying to take a trip on Friday, say to Nashville or Memphis or over to Gatlinburg, Friday's not a good travel day for that for sure. Up to 4 inches, Perryville, back through Centerville and Lesterville. Most of us will probably end up with about 2 inches with some localized amounts close to 3. Our probability for getting 2 inches or more in St. Louis is 55%. So we're probably in that ballpark of getting 1.5 to 2.5 inches right around Metro St. Louis proper. Temperatures, though, aren't extreme after tonight. We're in the 20s tomorrow night, the next couple of afternoons close to freezing. And then as we look towards Saturday and Sunday, we're back into the mid-30s, colder by Monday and Tuesday. Highs expected to be in the 20s at that point. And just a quick update on those power outages for you. Mike, we've been watching our southern counties. There are still folks down there without power. Reynolds, Iron, St. Francis, Madison, Perry counties. But the numbers have come down dramatically from what we were seeing Sunday.
Those crews working really hard to get power restored. All right, Scott, thank you. Frank is next with sports.
Mike, we have a little bit of everything. The SLU and Fighting Illini trains keep humming along. The president of the Blues with his take on his squad. And Travis Kelce, well, he was out there today on his podcast.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Onder Law Injury Attorneys.
If you jumped off the bandwagon when the Billikens were struggling, it's okay. Just get back on. They're all healthy now, and they are all learning the sophisticated system of Josh Schertz. They beat 14-1 St. Bonaventure tonight, and in the 3 conference games, they've outscored the opposition by 46 points. Schertz has a little Rick Majerus in him. He really does. He sees the game at a high level. Kind of like his center, Robbie Avila, backdoor to Kellen Thames, who will throw it down. They exploded at the end of the half on an 18-2 run. Isaiah Swope, steal, and layup. He had 16 points. It's really a luxury when your 6'10", 240-pound center has this kind of range. Slew had 13 threes. Gibson Jimerson was the story. He became the all-time leader in three-pointers for the Atlantic 10 Conference. He scored 28 points, and some were just flat-out bombs. Avila, who had 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, had the key bucket and one to seal it. Slew wins 73-68, and they're in first place at 3-0 in the A10.
It's great. I would like it a lot more if it was, March 8th instead of January 8th, whatever it is today. It's nice. The thing with the standings is, it's fluid. You just got to keep your head down and keep working this league. There's no opportunity to pick your head up and relax and take it in.
Brad Underwood said, "I will drink to this first half performance where Penn State scored only 10 points in the final 14 minutes. Got to show you one Penn State moment. Nicholas Kern Jr. from Bashan gets to the rack. Illinois exploded backdoor. Trey White with the jam. And Ben Humrickhouse had a 19-point first half, 21 for the game. Illinois stays smoking after a 91-52 blitzkrieg to the Palace on Ballast. The defending state champion is Smet Spartans and Coach Kent Williams hosting Helias. This is not Steve Nash, although Owen Duff has the hair and the teardrop to pull it off. The Spartans are not big, but so skilled. Riley Massey to Jordan Boyd. Massey at 22, Spartans roll 84-52. Speaking of skilled teams, Westminster hosting Lutheran South. The Lancers have a player named Ben Long. He broke the school record with a 53-point game. You can see he knows his way around the hoop. Watching Westminster is like watching Hoosiers. They all shoot it. Will Powers drains this for 2 of his 18. And later, J.D. Robertson, Ryan's son, will get the steal and layup. He had 21 points. Westminster wins 65-47. So the Blues have to make a statement tomorrow night. They host the Ducks. They have to beat mediocre teams, and they have to win home games. The Blues are coming off a brutal loss at Minnesota. They're up 4-2, but they didn't score the rest of the way. Can't happen. Doug Armstrong, how about a thought on the second half of the season for your squad?
We have to make coming to Missouri a very unpleasant trip for our opposition. We haven't been able to do that enough recently. It's not going to be easy, but I think it's obtainable what we'd like to do. I think obviously we have to get our special teams moving in a direction where they can win us games, and it should be an interesting 40 games if we do our part.
The Chiefs will have to wait a week to find out who they will play in the playoffs. But did they make sure it wouldn't be the smoking hot Bengals? Kansas City sat their stars in the blowout loss to Denver. Here's Travis Kelce with his brother.
I wanted them in the playoffs.
I'm not alleging this.
I want to slay every dragon one by one, like Mortal Kombat. I don't even want this to be like we play the lowest seed. Just give me the best teams.
I'm not, Travis. I'm just telling you what
AFC,
people
NFC.
are saying.
Give me all of them,
this.
Mortal Kombat style. I'll go through every one of them.
An entertaining podcast. By the way, no team in history has ever won 3 straight Super Bowls. They got a shot.
Yeah, they do. All right, Frank, thanks. Well, a St. Louis company is looking for a couple of new executives. No humans need apply. The possible payday for your pet. St. Louis-based Purina is looking to add to its corporate ranks Puppy Chow and Kitten Chow. They're looking for a chief snuggle officer. 1 puppy and 1 kitten will be hired to serve as brand ambassadors, and the job pays $25,000. Applications are due January 24th. They're revving up the engines for the 2025 St. Louis Auto Show. Kicks off tomorrow at America's Center and runs through Sunday. The show features hundreds of new cars, trucks, and SUVs. Tickets are $12. Kids 12 and under are free. Fun in the snow apparently isn't just for kids. Bridgeton police officers took some time to build a snowman. They even had some help from residents. Officer Olaf now stands watch outside the city's government center. And Scott has a final check of the weather impact forecast. That snowman won't be melting anytime soon.
No, he's going to hang around for just a little
Yeah.
bit here as we have cold temperatures continuing for the next few days. You know, we're looking at temperatures around freezing tomorrow and on Friday. Friday, though, in the morning especially, there will be some snow falling from the sky, and of course it's going to stick, so we'll have to deal with that for the Friday morning commute. That should be gone by the weekend, and we're actually above freezing, we think, for highs on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Limited sunshine this weekend, but we'll take those temperatures ticking up just a little bit. Not that it'll cause a big snow melt,
but hard to believe we'll look forward to 36 degrees.
Yeah.
There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That begins at 4 a.m. And have a great and safe tomorrow.